Hello everybody and thank you for joining me. This is Sierra from Sierra T Designs, and today I have this really fun birthday card as a hop entry to Debbie J and Neha's birthday celebration hop. Here's a look at all of the amazing sponsors of this hop, and I'll tell you more about the hop as we get into the video. So I am going to be making a flat shaker card, birthday card, and I'm starting out with this really cool stencil from Simon Says Stamp. This is the Balloon Bunch stencil, and I just sprayed some pixie spray on the back of it because it's such a detailed and delicate stencil. And you can see there I am also blotting it off a little bit on that piece of paper towel, just because I've had it adhere and rip my cardstock before. So I just kind of tried to take a little bit of the stick off to keep it from ripping my cardstock when I go to lift it later. So I am going to blend on some of my favorite colors of oxide ink. I have Salvaged Patina, Shaded Lilac, and Wilted Violet. And I'm just going to blend back and forth between the three colors until I have a blend that I really like under this stencil. Now, of course, you could pick any colors that interest you. These are just colors that I really enjoy, so that's kind of what I went, but you could go with any color combo, and I think it would look stunning. And if you wanted to make this more of like a Christmas themed card, snowflake stencil with this would be really cool too. So there's a lot of ways to take these techniques and kind of turn them into whatever card that you think that would be beautiful. But in this case, we are making a birthday card, so happy birthday to both Debbie J and Neha. It's their birthday celebration here in November, and we are doing this really cool hop with a bunch of really great creators. So Debbie from Debbie J's Crafting Corner and Neha from Crescent Creations have teamed up to put together today's hop, showcasing lots of birthday themed projects to inspire you to create some of your own to share with your friends and family. So I hope that you find all of these cards super inspirational and exciting, that you might try the techniques yourself. So at the top of the description box, you're going to find the link to the next person in the lineup. I hope you'll take the time to watch all of the hop videos because we would love your comments and thumbs up. And if you aren't a subscriber, I hope you guys will consider subscribing. There's a lot of amazing creators on this hop. I know the lineup's going to be pretty amazing. So if you aren't a subscriber and you like what the person's making, I hope that you'll consider subscribing to them. We love your guys' comments and thumbs ups and anything you want to share with us, the love of our passion and creation here. So that's always super, super amazing. And there are prizes as well. So make sure you pay attention to the details in the description box about how to win the prizes. And you guys saw that lineup of amazing sponsors. So there will be a drawing for winner for each one of those sponsors as well. And they will have all the details in the description box below. So there you go. So we're going to keep going on this card. So I'm going to create the sentiment here. And this is also from Simon Says Stamp. It's the Happy Birthday wafer die. And I ran it through my die cutter 3 times with regular white cardstock and then once with this really cool holographic cardstock. I just really wanted the sentiment to stand up against my shaker panel when I make it, and I thought that layering it up would really give it a lot of heft, and it would give some stability to the holographic cardstock as it's not very thick. So I kind of try to like that, make that chipboard-esque effect. So I just adhered them all together. I used my Barely Art glue because it has that awesome fine tip. And then I just kind of lined it up. I eyeball most things. That's kind of how I roll with stuff. So a lot of the time it's not completely straight, but honestly, I don't think anybody would say anything about it. I've never had someone give me my card back and tell me they didn't think it was amazing. So, I wouldn't worry about perfection. If that's something that bothers you, though, you could, of course, maybe use a different medium to cut it out that you wouldn't have to adhere all the layers together. But I don't have any like chipboard or anything to cut, so I just use scraps of cardstock and kind of go that way. And then I do want this to be the full front of an A2 sized card. And currently it's bigger than, so I'm going to have to trim it down to the 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And I did blend on Bristol Smooth cardstock. For this, you don't really need Bristol. You pretty much could have blended on any white or any cardstock really. You could have done craft if you wanted a different look to the background. But I have a bunch of it already cut up and ready to go, so I did use the Bristol, but for this, you're not really trying to blend the colors together, so you could have really used anything. And now we're going to make the shaker pocket. So I am going to reuse I think this had a stamp set in it, and I'm just going to reuse that packaging. So I kind of eyeball measured how big I wanted my pocket to be, and then I'm only going to use 1 layer of plastic. So had I been making 2 cards, this would have been perfect because you'd have had 2 pieces for the panel, the window. but I am only making one in this instance. So I kind of eyeball measured it out, and then I am going to trim a little bit off, a little bit more, just to make it a little bit smaller around the panel. And then I do suggest you use a very strong score tape or red line tape or something like that. I wouldn't suggest a liquid adhesive for this. Just because you'd have to kind of wait and it could shift around and it may not be as strong, and you don't want those shaker bits to fall out. So I'm using, I believe this is 1/2 inch score 8 tape right here. And that's kind of my preferred one. But again, you could use like red line tape or any really strong adhesive you have that would hold this plastic to itself and not let the shaker pieces fall out. And I am kind of doing each side individually. I used to do, I put all the score tape down on each side and then adhere, but then that left the corners up. So this way you see I can cover, like I'm covering the corner that I've already folded. So that panel has a harder time trying to lift. Or that corner has a harder time trying to lift after I'd adhered this panel down, or this side, sorry. So I think it's just a little bit easier if you do it this way rather than put the score tape down on each side and then adhere them up, because that leaves the corners to overlap more. And I did find that some of if you put glitter in it, like I like to, it tries to fall out the little corner. So I found this is a bit of an easier way to get everything to stay inside of the shaker pocket. But yeah, so I am going to do that top corner. And of course, I'm not going to close this one because this is the one we're going to dump the little shaker pieces into. And I am going to use a mixture of some loose glitter, which I know some people hate loose glitter. You don't need loose glitter. It's just that I own some and I think that it looks awesome in these. So I'm going to add some, and I am going to use the Distress Rock Candy. This is the best glitter I've found for this because it doesn't seem to have any static in it. If you've used loose glitter, you kind of know that it can be very staticky and want to stick to everything. So I have found this to be the least sticky of them, or the least staticky. And since I live in Canada and it's actually like -2 right now, Celsius, it can be quite staticky. So I love that this there's just so much less static in this glitter, and I have no idea how, but it's so awesome that they seem to be able to formulate that so that there's no static in their glitter. And you can color that. Did you guys know that? I didn't know that until recently. Tim Holtz has a video where he uses alcohol ink to like dye his rock candy glitter different colors. So I might have to try that for some Christmas makes just for some fun, but I haven't tried it yet, but look forward to that. I think I'm going to do a video on that, just trying it out and see what happens. So I dumped all my shaker bits in, and honestly, I don't even know where that sequin pack came from. I think it was a freebie from Simon a while ago. I just loved the colors and felt that they kind of matched the background that I had created, so I added them as well. And then I just adhered that top flap and dumped everything into the card. And then you can see me kind of shaking those pieces around. I'll grab the card here so you can hear it. So I don't know if you guys can hear that. That's just the shaky bits in the card. It's just so fun to play with, which is bad, I guess, because I should mail it to somebody. But I just love playing with the shaky cards. They're so much fun. Then I'm going to use my Barely Art glue just to adhere down my sentiment. I do bring in my T-square ruler to kind of try to line it up straight. But because the Y hangs down, it's a little more difficult to kind of line up. I'm pretty sure I got it straight, though, so it pretty much worked out fairly well. I just kind of adhered it down on the B side of the word and then kind of laid the Y down once I'd slid my T-square ruler out of the way. But yeah, so it's a little bit difficult to get completely straight. And of course, again, keep in mind, you're trying to adhere to plastic, so it does not really want to do that. So I did put my acrylic blocks on top just to weigh it down some more so that it wouldn't kind of slide around and then not be as straight. And you can kind of nestle the happy into the word birthday. It does kind of push the A up a little bit, but I think it's actually pretty straight. You guys will have to let me know what you think when I hold it up at the end there. And then I did bring in the tittle and adhered that above the I in birthday as well. The tittle is just the little dot above the I, in case you weren't sure what that word was. But yeah, so I did bring in the tittle and I adhered that above the I on birthday. And then I'm just going to use, this is my 1-inch score tape, I believe. And I'm just going to use that to adhere it down to my card base. The reason I'm using score tape, you could use liquid glue again, but this is really just a kind of a countermeasure to make sure that all of those flaps stay down and my shaky bits can't fall out. That's really the only reason I'm choosing to use score tape. As a general rule, I prefer to use liquid adhesive simply because I have a little wiggle room and generally I need it. But because this card panel is the full size of the A2 front of the card, I don't have to try to line it up as much to kind of create a border around it. So I'm going to bring in my score buddy and I put the card in the corner there and remove the tape here, and then I'm going to line it up in the corner of the score buddy, if that makes sense. Oh, sorry guys, I'm starting to lose my voice. So I am going to line it up in the corner of my score buddy there, and that's kind of my trick to make things line up if they're the full front of a card, because you can see here I can push it into the corner. Your Misty would work the same for this. I just used my score buddy because it was sitting right there, and then I just push it into the corner there, and then that adheres it perfectly on top of my A2 base, and then I don't have to fight with it. So I'm going to show you a close-up look of how this card turned out. I am so in love with these full front shakers. They're just amazing. I hope you guys will go and check out all the other people in the hop. I know that there's going to be a ton of amazing creations. Happy birthday, Debbie and Neha. I hope you guys have amazing birthdays, and I will see you guys again soon with another video. Thank you so much for stopping by. Bye-bye for now.